We are 1 week away from me showing you how to make buku's money, and I mean buku's money, making belts. But until we get to that point, because I still have some editing to do, I'm going to answer your questions right now. So sticking with this month's theme, all these questions are going to be about belt making. Welcome to Big Stacks Small Workshop. Sherry Buyer asked, I do it the hard way. Even when I purchased blanks, leather thickness was an issue. When using sides, consistent thickness was an issue. But finding belt blanks over 48 inches is difficult too. As for the template, I've purchased one only to find out the holes start too close to the end. And spacing is not 1 inch, which most people like. So my go-to is old belt blanks. What's your template hole spacing? Sherry, that is a great question, and I'm going to answer it to you by showing my template. These are not available yet, but I am giving 3 of these away. And if you stay tuned to this entire video, I'll show you how you can be one of the winners of these belt templates. These belt templates are good for 1.5 inch belts. The first hole, which is right here, is exactly 4 inches from the end. There's 5 holes evenly spaced at 1 inch apart. Perfect hole placement in seconds. As for the leather thickness, I found that these belt blanks are great. They are the Buffalo belt blanks from Weaver Leathercraft, and the thickness has been great. They're finished on both sides. They have the hole already in the buckle end if you wanted to purchase it that way. Really, it's a win-win situation. It's only, I don't know, $1.50 or something like that more than if you just bought the blank by itself, which is a great deal. Pamela Littlefield asks, what is the best thickness of leather to use for belt making? Pamela, that's a great question. I think that somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 ounces is the ideal thickness of leather for belt making. Now, if you're going to make something like a tool belt to put like a tool pouch on, or to hang like drills and impact drivers and other heavy tools on, you probably want to go a little bit thicker than that. Or if you're making a gun belt and you're going to put a holster on it, you definitely should go thick on it as well. But I found that 8 to 10 ounces is the ideal thickness of the leather. And these Weaver leather blanks that I buy are 8 to 9 ounces. So really an ideal weight for belts. And you can see it's got a nice thickness to it. Can you guys see that? Got a great thickness to hold up and be durable. These belts are going to last a really long time. Milam 2057 asks me, is it necessary to line the belt? And if so, what should the thickness be of the liner? What should the overall thickness of the belt be? This is a really good question, and one that unfortunately I have no unearthly idea what the answer is. Milam, the belts that I make are typical for like Western wear, something that a biker would wear. Now there are very fancy Western wear belts, and these things can cost up to like $500. They're tooled very nicely. A lot of those are stitched, so there's more than one piece. I found that the single 8 to 10 ounce thickness is perfect for belts. And if you look at these Weaver belt blanks, they're finished real nice on the inside. Let's take a quick look at that. Yeah, can you guys see that? They're finished real nice on both sides. And our final question, and it's actually 2 different people asked this question. It's a great question. Both Elton Herrera and Paul Simonetti asked this question. I'm just going to use Elton's question. In this video, you got the belts with holes for buckles from the factory. These belt planks are pre-punched. How can I make them myself? Meaning, is there tools for these holes, and what is the proper way to measure these holes? It's a really good question, because if you cut straps of leather, and you could just take a hide and cut a strap of leather, I'd probably go with the shoulder, something that's a little bit more durable, a little bit thicker. But if you do cut the straps, and then you're left with a blank, let me grab one. This strap was pre-purchased, but if you did cut the strap yourself, it would go from this end, looking like that, all the way to that end, looking like that. And there's no holes in this belt. My goodness, what are we gonna do? Don't get excited. I've placed on my social media channels, which is at Big Stack Shop for both Facebook and Instagram, a layout that shows you how exactly the belts that I've bought from Weaver are punched. So this is what we have right here. And feel free to go onto my social media channels and download those, or you could just look at it on the community tab and draw it out yourself. But the first thing you probably want to do is start from the end and come in at half an inch to make your first rivet hole, and then 1 3/8 to your next rivet hole. And this is where that belt loop's going to go, that holds the extra end of the belt in, when it kind of a tuck in when you are putting the belt on. Then it's 5/8 between that and the oblong hole. The oblong hole is for the prong of the buckle. This one is 1 1/4 inches. And this punch right here is something you use for something like that. You guys can see that? It's an oblong punch. It's a lot beefier than your standard punch, but I like to buy my belt blanks pre-punched. There are going to be times, and there have been times, where I didn't have the ability to purchase the belt blank pre-punched, and that's when I used this sucker right here. We're going to have another 5/8 inch gap to the next rivet hole, and then another 1 3/8. Again, that's where we slide that belt loop in right there, and that's going to take us to our final rivet hole. This layout is available on both my Facebook and Instagram pages. That's at Big Stack Shop, and you can find it there and download it. I appreciate everyone's questions, and I want to thank you for asking them. Whoever gets the 3 best questions, and I haven't picked the 3 best ones yet. I've only answered a few belt specific questions, but whoever asks me my 3 favorite questions is going to get one of these templates sent to them right there. What I need you to do is to go to this video right here, watch the entire thing, and then ask your questions in the comments there. Maybe I'll choose your question and you'll win one of my belt end templates. Appreciate you guys very much. Thank you for the questions, and I'll see you guys next time on Big Stack's Small Workshop.